Narrated by Dustin Dabrowski. Copyright Jacqueline Dabrowski, 2015, all rights reserved. Warmth of the summer night held the secret. The moon, however, wanted to betray it. Two young women ran as fast as they could while struggling against the fact that one was heavy with child. The pain didn't matter, couldn't matter. Tonight was the night. Escape or the child would be killed. They made their way across the field to the edge of the forest. Before entering, the pregnant woman turned around. She wanted to take one last look at the home she loved that transformed into the prison from which she ran. Sorrow stilled her as she gazed at the castle. A year ago, she walked into its courtyard for the first time. A place full of light and life is now dark and dead. The darkness was being chased away by the full moon that was rising over the tower where her husband's mutilated body hung lifelessly for all to see. "The king is dead, my lady." The handmaiden's words cut like a sword through the quiet. "His child will not suffer the same fate," declared the young queen. With that, they turned and entered the forest. The path they were on resembled a tunnel made of living trees, spaced far enough apart that a little moonlight drifted to the ground below, giving them enough light to see without using a lantern. The ground beneath their feet was hard, packed, and smooth. For years, an untold number of people have walked this lane, as it is the servants' shortcut from the castle to the docks. Partway down the path, the woman stopped abruptly, gripped by the pain of labor. As she tried to regain her composure, the bell started to chime, and shouts could be heard from the castle. "Run!" cried the queen. She wrapped both arms around her belly and moved as fast as was possible. The handmaiden held onto the queen's waist, in part to hold her up, but also to gently push her forward. As they broke through the forest and landed on the beach, the queen fell to her knees on the sand. Sweat was dripping from her pain-wrenched face. So intense was the labor pain, she couldn't move until it was over. Every second they stayed was another second closer to death, and the handmaiden knew it, and it made her mad. She could hear the pounding of horses going over the bridge and away from the shore, away from them. The noise brought the handmaiden to her fury. It was just a matter of time before the dark witch realizes the women are escaping by sea, not land. Half carrying, half dragging the queen, the woman climbed into the boat. "Thanks be to the gods of the summer solstice, the tide is with us." Half carrying, half dragging the queen, the woman climbed into the boat. "Thanks be to the gods of the summer solstice, the tide is with us," whispered the handmaiden. As fast as she could, she rowed. She put all her anger and bloodlust into the oars, helping her rowing fast and hard, pushing them out to sea, out to safety and danger. The handmaiden looked to the sky and found most of the stars were hidden behind the clouds, but not the full moon. It shone as bright as daybreak against the sea, threatening to reveal them, but not for long. The eclipse has started, not a moment too soon. The queen groaned, suppressing the urge to scream, with heavy labor now upon her. Laying on the bottom, being tossed around by the choppy waters made controlling the pain near impossible. The thunderous sounds of hoofs coming back over the stone bridge echoed out dread. They were coming, and so was the child. The boat was out far enough to pull the sail up, but more importantly, half of the moon was covered in darkness. "The time is close," said the handmaiden, not fully knowing if she was talking about the eclipse or the birth. The dark witch and her soldiers of dread had made it to the field. Only wide enough for one horse, the shortcut will slow them down. A small amount of relief comforted the handmaiden. They made the right decision heading to the sea. Her moment of peace ended abruptly with the queen's cry. The queen, lying on her back, grabbed the sides of the boat and looked up to the moon as the great pain seized her body. The waters so turbulent, waves crashed over the women, drowning out the sound. The handmaiden knelt next to the young woman to offer her comfort as well as hold her in the boat. She looked at the beach. Nothing yet. She looked to the sky. The moon had but a sliver of light reflecting from it. She looked at the sea, whose water started to churn and turn red. They have stayed too close to the mother of life. Just as fear gripped the handmaiden, the queen let out a tortured cry. All went black the moment the dark witch emerged from the forest. When she looked up to the sky, rage consumed her at the sight of the eclipse of the moon. It was complete. Even with the deafening noise from her soldiers, she listened to the sound of the sea. What secrets did it hold? Has the underwater monster awakened? In the cover of darkness, the queen screamed, the cries of childbirth. The dark witch listened to the scream and knew it. It was too late. The prophecy was being fulfilled. The sea became so rough, the queen was thrown back and forth in the boat, all the while clinging to the handmaiden, whose strength was no longer enough safety. When a great wave crashed over the boat, turning it upside down, its occupants were thrown overboard. The sea was deceptive. Its waters were warm.